Blue Book, Consumer Information, Chapter 4, Volume 1. This chapter describes information school provided in the financial aid about its campus. The chapters are discussing counseling student receiving federal student aid, disclosures that must be made but for private educational loans. Seeing that the Federal Student Aid Handbook, Volume 2, Chapter 6 is a fulfiller of the treatment of some of these topics. Available for information notice of the enrolled student. Each year, a student must distribute to all each year, a school must distribute to all enrolled students of a notice of available of information providing the following general categories. 1. Disclosure of enrolled prospective students, enrollment security report, enrollment fire safety program report, report of athletic participation rates and financial support data, FERPA, which is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974, information, and the notice must list briefly describe the information information and tell the student how to obtain the information. The notice must be provided to an individual on a one-to-one basis through an inappropriate mail publication, including the direct mail, indirect mailing, or through U.S. Postal Service, campus mail, electronic mail, or posting on the intranet website does not constitute notice. Without notice cannot direct the personal information online. The Chapter 4 highlights are availability of information disclosures, textbooks, information loan counseling, drug alcohol abuse prevention program, misrepresentation information of private loans. The consumer information is the HE Sec 485 Title 20 U.S. Standard Code 1092, Regulations Title 34, CFR 6684148. The notice to enroll students at 34 CFR 66841C. Web destination is Title 34 66841B, C, and 2, and 8 and 2, and 4, and G, and 1 and 2. Available for school staff of Title 34, Code Federal Regulation 66814. Prospective students, an individual who has contacted eligible institution for purposes of the requesting information enrolling the institute, which has contacted directly the institution and directly advertising to the enrolled by about enrolling in the institution. Sampling of the FERPA rights, which are the Family Educational Rights to Privacy. So you may find notifications of the Department of Education on the Family Educational Rights to Privacy Act at ed.gov/policy.gn GEN-guide-FPCO- FERPA Educational Rights to Privacy Act /PS official HTML. Web dissemination. A school must satisfy the requirements for the above disclosures, reporting, posting information on the web. Enrolled school students and current employees of the school must post the information on the internet website, intranet website. Irresponsible, accessible individuals to information must be disclosed. Prospective students and prospective employees, the school may post information on the internet website. A school that has an internet or intranet disclosure for the purpose must include the annual notice to enrolled students, the exact electronic address with which information is posted, and the student in which the school is provided a paper copy of the information on request. In the case of intranet and intranet distribution of the security and fire safety reports to current employees, the school must, by October 1st of each of the year, distribute all current employees notice of the includings and statements of report availability, exact electronic address of the state of the report of the posted brief descriptions of the report's contents, statements, and the school will be provided a paper copy of the report upon request. The same information they must include it, but in notice of the prospect of students, employees, and school decided to use a web to provide an annual secretary fire safety reports. The only difference is that no annual date is distribution of the notice. In case of the web distribution, prospective students and employees noted the school must use the internet rather than the intranet site. Civil penalty. In addition to limiting, suspending, terminating participation of any school that fails to comply with the consumer information requirements of the Department of Education, may impose civil fines up to $227,500 for each violation. Civil penalty in Section 487C3B of HEA. Disclosure. General Disclosure, Title 34 66841D, Finals and Association 34 66842, Institution Information, Title 34 CFR 6843, Completion of Graduation Rates, Title 34 C6845, Retention Placement, Graduate Postgraduate Study, Title 34 66841D. D4, 5, and 6. Definition of Title 34 66841A and and 66847B. Available of employees information dissemination. A school may designate an employee group of employees in school available for full-time basis to assess, role, prescriptive prospect students, obtain information, financial assistance to school graduation completion rates, as security policies, crime statistics described in the following sections. In the school designates one person. The school should available upon reasonable notice to enroll prospective students throughout the normal administrative working hours of the school. If more than one person designated, the combined work schedule must be arranged so that at least one of them is upon reasonable notice throughout normal administrative working hours of the school. The department may waive the requirement of the school total enrollment portion of the enrollment participation of the federal student aid program. Special necessities employee group of employees available for the full-time basis. The school must request the waiver of the department disclosures, as the school must make it certain and available for the enrolled student and prospective student of the appropriate publications, mailing, and electronic media. See Volume 2, Chapter 5. See Volume 2, Chapter 6 of the Federal Student Aid Handbook for more information and disclosure. The consumer information of the department. The department is required to be available to school lenders to make available school lenders with secondary schools description of federal student aid programs to assist the gaining information through the school sources to assist schools carrying out the federal student aid program requirements. To provide comprehensive student aid information to students and their family through the student aid website, the studentaid.ed.gov. College to high schools and may orderly bulk context of students borrow publications such as college preparation checklist from the Federal Student Aid Pub to the federalstudentaidpubs.gov. Statutory requirement HE Section 485 EDA data on the web. The Department of Education posts an EDA report for participation in schools on the web at ope.ed.gov.athletics. So, disclosures. The school must have certain available to be enrolled students, prospective students through appropriate publication of mailings, electronic media. See Volume 2, Chapter 6, Federal Student Aid Handbook of the more information about the disclosures. At a minimum, the school must publish and make readily available for the current prospective students the description of all federal, states, and local private institutional student financial assistance programs available for the students, including both needs and non-need-based programs. The school must be also described the rights and responsibilities of students receiving financial assistance, specifically federal financial student aid funds. The school provides enrolled prospective students information, academic costs, school costs, withdrawal procedures, reduced refunds, returned aid, accreditation, and licensing services available to disability units, federal student aid eligibility, student abroad policies, and transferring credits from another school, contacting information policies, penalties related to copyright infringements. The school must report its completion of the graduation rates, if required, in the transfer rate of the Department of the Integrated Post and Secondary Education Data System, IPEDS, Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System website. The school must provide information for the retention reported by the institution, Integrated Post-Secondary Educational Data System, the placement type of the employment obtained by the graduates in school degree certificate programs for any of the 4-year programs at the school, the type of the graduate professional education of the graduates enroll. A school must disclose certain information about the gainful employment programs, the prospective same length of the program, occupation to prepare the student to enter one-time graduated rate, the tuition fees or other costs, the job replacement, median loan payment, median loan payment. The school must include the required information, promotional materials, and must have able prospective students and post information on the website. A school must describe the campus security report to its students, employees on an annual basis. The school must maintain on-campus students' housing, must also disseminate annual fire safety report. Note that the reports must include the campus security fire safety statistics report of the department each year. The Equity of Ethics Disclosure Action requires the school to have collegiate athletic program to make sure that prospective students are aware of the commitments to provide equality athletic opportunities for men and women. When a school offers a prospective student athlete equity related to student aid, it must be provided a report of the on completion of the credit rate to the student aid relates to prospective students at the student parents, high school's couch, and guidance counselor. A school participation federal student aid program must provide information on the student's facility employees to prevent drug abuse and required to have drug alcohol prevention program. In addition, as the school participates in the campus based. The crime and we'll start up here at the College Affordability website. The Department of the College Affordability Transparency Center, the HDP College Costs, edgov.cact.default ASPX, includes information on students, parents, and policymakers of college costs at American colleges university. The center includes the service of a list of institutions based on tuition fees and net prices of price intended to considering all grants of scholarship aids that are charged to the students. These lists may request an outline to HEOA will be updated annually, posted on the College Navigator website, the nts.ed.gov College Navigator by the July 1st. The crime and fire and data on the web. The department posts the campus state crime statistics, firing safety statistics for fire safety statistics, participation in school and web at hcpop.ed.gov. Secretary of the Crime Secretary also posted on the Department College Navigator set, the NTES edgov.college navigator. Nice price collector. A school undergraduate student of the participation in the federal student aid program must have the posted net price on its website on the October 29, 2001. The net capability institution data, the estimated net price is information current prospective students, families based on the student individual circumstances. The Department of Education National Center of the Education Statistics designed, developed, and fully functional net price calculator available through all schools. The school may also department net price calculator template and develop its own institutional developed calculators may include a minimum of same data implements found in the department net price calculator template. To use and review, go to hetb.nesc.gov IPADS and net price calculator. For more information, the calculator template is available. The NES EDGov iPads resource net price calculator ASP. See Generation 028 all 12 of the description and requirements of the Calculator Higher Education Opportunities Act of 2008, Title 20 U.S. Standard 115. Textbook information. In addition to schools participating in campus-based programs must have a drug-free awareness program for its employees that includes a notice of the employee's unlawful activities of the action schools will be taken on any employee who violates prohibition. So, textbook information. The statutory requirement regarding the textbook closure described DCL generated 0812 for guidance with the given in GEN 1009. Also, the law requires textbook publishers to provide information, facilities, and pricing, copyright data rights for the previous edition, content revisions, and alternated formats of the HE sections 133. Textbook information. The maximum extent of practicable a school must verify the textbook pricing information both required and recommended materials on each one of the classes scheduled and classes on the school has been posted online. The pricing information must include the internal standard book number as in the retail price for all required recommended textbook supplemental materials on each of the course listed on the institution course schedule. If the ISBN is not available, the pricing and information must include the publisher's copyright as well as the title, author, or school determines disclosure pricing information not practicable from the substituting designation to be determined TBD. If in lieu of required pricing information, if applicable, school must include in the written course schedule the reference of textbook information available on the internet schedule on the internet address for the schedule. The schedule is encouraged to provide information on renting textbooks, purchasing used textbooks, buying back programs, alternative content delivery programs. A school must provide the following information bookstore if the college bookstore request is requested to his bookstore if the college bookstore requests it. If the school course schedule the school subsequent academic period for each of the course period information is most included. The internet school is required to the recommended textbooks supplemental material number of the students enrolled, maximum student enrollment hours. Loan counseling and regulations. Title 34 CFR 685-304, Perkins Title 34 CFR 6416A. The DL on the online counseling. The students can take an entrance and exiting counsel online. Entrance and counseling, studentloans.gov, exiting counseling, National Student Loan Data System, ed.gov. You can still sign up to receive regular report named student will have completed online counseling. If your school documents have been documents that student completed in the Department of Education online counseling session, it has satisfied responsibility of electronic counseling. Loan counseling, entrancing counseling. Before making the first distribution of a loan, direct, subsidized, unsubsidized loan borrowers, school must ensure the student has received entrance to counseling documentation, has received prior direct, subsidized, unsubsidized, federal, state, Stafford, SSS loan, SLS loans. A similar school must ensure that the graduate professional degree is borrowing direct plus loan, having received entrance counseling and received graduate professional director and federal plus. Loans that are similar counseling disclosure requirement of the Perkins loan. See the volume 6 of the Federal Student Aid Handbook. Loan counseling is not required of the parent of the plus borrowers. Direct loan counseling materials. Schools can be ordered counseling materials such as the entrance counseling guide of the direct loan borrowers and exit counseling guide federal student loan borrowers from FSA Pub's web at fsapubs.gov. So you can get your entrance counseling guide, direct loan borrowers, and exiting counseling line for the federal student loan borrowers at the FSAPubs.gov. Direct loans counseling web, direct loan program offer the entrance and existing counseling the web either sidebar. The school may also elect to provide entrance counseling in the in-person session to provide a separate written form for the student. She signs and returns to school. If the staff conducting the person counsel session charts, they also add in-person conducting in-person and counseling sessions charts, handouts, audio, visual materials, question and answer sessions, and help information in more dynamic ways. You also may recommend the use of written, tested, interactive programs to ensure that the student understands the term and conditions of his loan. Alternative entrance counseling approaches. Direct loan regulations describes on how school may adopt alternative approaches as part of the Quality Assurance Plan. See Title 34 Code Federal Regulation 65304. Student plus borrowers are Title 34 CFR Code 68685-304. Regardless of the counseling methods used, it must ensure that the individual has expertise. The federal student aid programs responsible available shortly after the counseling to answer the student's question. If the document received is understood at the entrance of the exiting counseling. Providing information on separation and providing borrow information. A direct loan school should be sent update borrow information. Federal loan services to whom the loan would be assigned. The providing borrow information on separation person and all contact information collected at the time of the counseling must be provided to the student loan services within 60 days. The student authorizes her school or releases the information. No tenders the prosperity note that she signs and applying the note. No further permission is needed. The school will complete the exit counseling on the National Student Loan Data System student access website. Fulfilling the requirements of the National Student Loan Data System provides the completion information of the loan holders. Exiting follow-up. The student's borrower drops out without notifying your school. If he must confirm the school has been completed online counseling, mail exiting counseling materials to the borrower at his or her loan last known address. If applicable, the email information of the borrower is his or her home. They're not school email address. If you have the address, note that the school may send the print or PDF version of the exit counseling guide of the federal student loan borrowers to satisfy the exiting counsel requirements. The most mailed or emailed within 30 days of your learning of the borrowers within learning that the borrower has withdrawn or failed to participate in exiting the counseling session. When making exiting materials of the student who has left school, your school is not required to use certified mail with a person per return receipt request. But if the document in the student file is that the material was sent, and the student was sent. If the student has provided that the update information, there is no requirement to take any further action. The Teaching Grant Counsel. Initial subsequent counseling is delivered at the teach website before the student receives his or her grant. The student completes exiting counsel of the National Student Loan Data System, Student Access NSLDS AD NSLDS SA under SA. If the school responsibility to see that the teach recipient receives the counseling whether they are no longer enrolled in the program, the NSLDS letter number 3 of the IF and Information Financial Placement website ifap.ed.gov for more than the details of the teacher counseling for the information reporting on the tools and the National Student Loan Data System professional website nslds.ed.gov.nslds/FAP. Teaching exiting counsel. The Teach Grant converts the loans to the service requirements not completed. All grant recipients receive the entrance counseling, subsequent counseling. The Teach website for receiving the grant. All recipients must receive a Teach Grant exiting counsel available to the National Student Loan Data System. Student access is cited at the NSLDS.gov and NSLDS SA under the SA. The school has received the report of the NSLDS on the students who have completed the Teach each counsel. The student does not complete each counsel on the NSLDS website. Your school must ensure the counseling is provided to either the person through the interactive electronic means, mail written counseling materials such as the PDF of the existing counsel of the program and the NSLDS material. The grant recipient the less known address. In the case of the announced withdrawals, your school must provide counseling within 30 days of learning that the grant recipient has withdrawn from the school or the Teach Grant eligible program. Providing information and providing additional information. Your school and taking additional steps in the counseling student, developing a budget, estimating need for loan planning of the repayment, the reinsurance of the message, the continuing the context of the student borrows. You have earned the opportunity just from birth to remind this about the importance of academic planning for the future employment. Stay in touch with the holders, loaning and additional ideas with counseling given the same default management prevention plan. Schools couldn't provide the borrower's information, contact the connectional potential occupation relevant to the core study counseling, various stages of enrollment, interactive tools, management, development, repayment, obtainment options, school contact information. School can offer the information through the variety of the media such as counseling classes, publications, tutorials, electronic newsletters, email notifications, email accounts, and additional information audit award letters. At the risk of the students, a school identified by the provided by the student special counseling at the risk of students, such as a student withdrawing prematurely from education program, borrowers who does not meet the standards of satisfactory academic progress. Both the most recent sample default plan issued by the attachment of GN 0514 is available for collection of default rate of materials of the information financial aid placement, I believe, and the student has enrolled in student abroad programs approved by the U.S. school or for credit. The correspondence distance learning program has not previously received the FFEL direct loan in school documentation, school loan completed online, entrance counseling. The federal student aid requirements to provide entrance counseling information in the mail before releasing loan proceeds. In the case of the existing counsel for the corresponding programs, the student abroad, the school may mail, email, borrow written counsel materials, and with 30 days of the borrowing completes the program with the request of the borrower provide the contact program information that would ordinarily collect the counseling process. Misrepresentation. This is Title 34, Subpart F, 6681, 6682, 668, 71, 72, and 73 and 74 is in misrepresentation, educational program, misrepresentational financial charges, employability, graduates, responsibilities of the Department of Education, 66875. Misrepresentation is defined by false, erroneous, misleading statements must directly, indirectly to the student, prospective students, member of the public, and accreditation and state agency or the department. Misleading statement includes the statement that is likelihood or tendency to deceive or confuse the statement in the communication of the written or visual, oral, or through other means. misrepresentation regulations. The nature of educational program, Title 34, 66872. Misrepresentation concerns the natural eligibility institution educational program that is not limited to false, erroneous, and misleading statements concerning the particular type, specific sources, nature, extent of the institutional programmatic, specialized accreditation, whether a student may transfer his course credits earned at the institution or to another institution. Conditions under the institution will accept and transfer the credits earned to at another institution. Whether the successful completion of the course instruction qualifies as a student. For example, for existence of to a labor union or similar organizations, to receive to and apply or take examination required to receive local, state, federal licensed non-governmental certification required precondition for employment to perform certain functions instated with the educational program is offered to meet additional conditions. Institutions' responsibility should be generally to secure employment to recognize occupation for the program represented to the prayer of the students. The requirements of successfully completion of the course study of the program circumstances that would constitute the grounds of the termination of the student enrollment. Whether course was recommended have been the subject of unsolicited testimony, endorsements, vocational counselors, high school, college, educational organizations, employment agencies, and members of particular industries, student formers, and others, governmental officials, governmental employment, and size of location, facilities, and equipment, the availability, the frequency, appurtenances, and the courses, programs, the objectives that states the programs are designated to meet. The nature, age of the availability of the training devices, equipment, the appropriation of the objectives, and the state of the programs is designated to meet. The number of availability of the qualifications, including the training experiences, or is that the other personnel available to part-time employment or other forms of financial assistance. The nature, availability of any tutorial, specialized instruction, guidance, counseling, other supplemental assistance it will provide to the students before, during, and the completion of the course. Nature, existence of the prerequisite established enrollment in any course when the subject matter content of the course of study, any other fact related to degree, diploma, certification, or completion, any other similar documentation student that is to be awarded upon completion of the course of the study, whether the academic or professional occupational degree of the institution will confer with the completion of the course of the study has been authorized as appropriate educational agency. This type of misrepresentation in case of the degree has not been authorized appropriate state educational agency that requires specialized accreditation and failure to eligible institutions to disclosure facts that advertising professional materials, references such as degree or any material required of the disclosure prospective under the state statute 68426843 of this part authorized by Title 20 U.S. Standard Code 1094. Title 34 CFR 66873 nature of financial charges, misrepresentation concerning the nature of the eligible institution financial charges must not be limited to false, erroneous, misleading statements concerning other scholarship, other offers of scholarships to put all part of the course charges, whether the particular charge is customary to charge in the institution of the course program institution refunds, and if the student does not complete the availability nature of the financial assistance offered to the student includes the student responsibility to pay any loans regardless of whether the student is successful in completing the program and obtaining the employment. The student right to reject the particular of the financial aid offers to the student applies for the particular type of the financial aid such the financial offer offered by the institution. Title 34 Title 34, 66874, Employability Graduates. Misrepresentation regarding the responsibility for eligibility institution graduates must not be limited to erroneous, misleading statements concerning the institution, relationship, organization, employment agency, authorized training leading directly into deployment, institution plans to maintain deployment, service for the graduates, otherwise than graduates to obtain the element, the institution knowledge of the current, future, the compensation, employment opportunities in the industry, occupation. The students are prepared whether the employment is being offered by the institution or a talent hunt or contest that may be conducted but included, not limited to, using the phrases such as men, woman wanted to train for blank, helped, wanted employment or business opportunities. Government job market statistics relating to potential placements of the graduates. Other requirements generally needed to employ to the fields of the training means provided that such as requirements related to commercial driving licenses or permits to carry the firearms. Falling into the disclosure of the factors that would prevent the application of qualifications, such requirements such as prior criminal records of the pre-existing medical condition. Authority Title 20 U.S. Standard Code 1094. Title 34 668 75 relationships with the Department of Education. Eligible written representative any eligible institution, organization, person who is eligible whom with the eligible institution has an agreement with must describe the eligible institution participation in the Title IV HE program, the manner of suggesting approval of the endorsements by the U.S. Department of Education, quality of the educational programs. Sanctions. The Department determines the eligible institution engaged in substantial misrepresentation if the revoke of the eligible institution program participation agreement impose limitations to institution participation, federal, state, and aid programs, and deny participation applications made on the behalf of the institution. Indicated the proceeding against the eligible institution under the subpart G to Title 34 668. Definition applies to statements. Definition applying to statements made by an eligible school, one of the representatives, and an eligible organization person who is an eligible institution having an agreement to provide educational programs to provide marketing, advising, recruiting, admission, and services. Misrepresentation includes dissemination of a student endorsement testimonial the student gave under the duress and because of the student perceived required of the student makes the endorsement testimonial to participate in programs. Substantial misrepresentation is defined as misrepresentation which one person whom is what made can be responsibly expected to rely. He is responsibly relied to the person's determination. A school is predetermined by the engaged substantial misrepresentation of the school itself and one of its representatives, other related parties. A substantial misrepresentation regarding the school included the nature of the educational program, financial charges, and employment of the graduates. Private educational loans are Title 34, 668, 14B, 28, and 29 requirements of preferred tender list is in 682, 2412, 601010 self-certification form. Title 34 CFR 601. 11. Information required to complete the self-certification program form 34 668 14B 29. And we'll continue on. Substantial misrepresentation prohibited by all forms, including the adversing, promotional materials other than marketing, sales, and programs and instructions offered in the institution. Truth in Lending Act. The Truth in Lending Act in Section 128E, 15 U.S. Standard Code 16831, Federal Reserve System. Truth in Lending Regulations, published by August 14, 2009. Title 12, the Code of Federal Regulations 22647, 22648. Information about private loans. And a private educational loan is non-federal state loan, non-federal student aid loan that is made to borrowers expressly for a post-secondary educational expense, regardless of whether the loan is provided by the educational institution or the student intends to directly borrow to the private educational lender. The private educational loans made by the school include the public health and service loans, the health provision student loans, and however the federal student programs loans are not considered to be private educational loans. If the private education is part of the preferred lender agreement and is also subject to rules for the arrangement as discussed later in this section. Private education loan definition. The definition of a private education loan given at the beginning of the section is based on the definition of the Federal Reserve. Some regulations exclude some of the credits, including the extension credit under the opening and under the consumer accredited plan, a reserve mortgage, transcript, residential mortgage, transcript, any other loan is secured with real property and dwelling, and an extension of the credit in which educational loan, if is in the lender, is 1. The term of extension of the credit is less than 90 days or less, or the interest rate will not be applied to the credit balance of the term, or the extension of the credit is 1 year or less, even the credit is payable in more than 4 installments. Disclosure of private educational loans. A school-affiliated organization provided information regardless of the private educational loan with the lender's prospective must provide the following disclosure, even if it does not participate in preferred loan arrangement. If the private education loan is disclosure, but must the provider prospectively borrow for the information required for the Title U.S. Standard Codes 15, out of Title 15, 16, and 38 E1, Title 12. Federal Regulations 22647A in the Federal Reserve Regulations. Information on prospective borrower that is qualified the federal student aid loan of the assistance of federal student aid programs for the terms of the condition of federal student aid loan may be variable with the provision of the private educational loan. The school affiliated must ensure the information regarding the private education loan present in such a manner that distinction from the information regarded to the FSA loans, the federal student aid loans. The school must open the request of the applicant discuss with the availability of the federal, state, information, institutional student financial aid We'll start up here. Self-certification for the private educational school must provide the private education loan application certification upon the request of the loan application. The school must host as exact copy of the PDF of the self-certification form of the website applicants to be download and provide a paper copy of the direct to an application. A self-certification form is included in the attachment of the general GN 1001. The self-certification form must be printed on the school or the lender while the black and ink white paper. The type is the typeface, point size, and generally preposition of the form may not be charged for the version approved by the Office of Management and Budget. The only charges that may be made in the self-certification that are the bold type of the section and headings may be removed. Bold italic type of may be added to the instructions. School tenders may be used to paste the top bottom sides of the forms of the barcoding of the other school's lender specifics and information, and however the such spaces may not be included. The students' loan, parents, and the Social Security and Generation 9. Self-certification private education loans. Lender must obtain a signed completed self-certification form from the loan application before initiating a private education loan. The application may obtain a copy of the self-certification form the private lender submit it in from the school from the completion of the confirmation. The school may also obtain and provide the information needed to complete the direct lender. The loan application of the student or parent requests a copy of the self-certification from the school and must provide the copy. They may also request the student must be enrolled admitted to the school. That Section 2 completed providing the form that your school must do the extent of that is information. Section 2 of the form collects the student cost of the attendance, estimated financial assistance, the EFA, the difference between the estimated financial assistance included the students who had completed with the federal student aid financial student aid. The amounts included the replace of the EFC that does not include the private educational loan and the self-certification loan. See Volume 3 Federal Student Aid Handbook for the more information. Public service health loans made by Title 6 and Title 8. Title 7 and Title 8 Public Health Service Act are considered the private education loan including the health provision student loan, HPLSL, primary care loan, PCL, loans of disadvantaged students, LDS, nursing student loan, NSL. These loans are administered by the Health Resources and Service Administration, HRSA Gov. Schools of private lenders. Note that the school solicits and makes extended private educational loans and consider private educational lenders subject to the federal regulations. Private educational lenders, when the school's private educational loans, it must be complete with the private self-certification loan application subsequent obtaining the form of the application before communicating the private educational loan. In some cases, the school may be making one or more of the private educational loan to the applicant. For example, the school may provide the preferred Title 34, Federal Regulations 60110, and the 12 Federal Regulations 22647, Title 40, Title 20 U.S. Standard Code 110A, 1A, and 119B, Title 15 U.S. Standard Code 1683E1, as enacted in the HEA Section 153A, A2A, Truth in Lending Act Section 1218, 128E, 11. In some cases, the school making more than the private educational loan to an applicant. For example, schools must provide a loan funded by the school or other donor-directed contribution. Public health service loans. In such cases, the school can provide one self-certification for the application. Preferred lender list. The preferred lender list is the school is required to exercise duty care and duty the loyalty comply with the preferred lender list, in which prejudice the sole benefit of the school, students, heirs, families. Note: do not deny or otherwise impede borrowers' choice of lenders of their borrowers who choose a lender that is not included in the preferred lenders list. The This requirement is also included in School Code Conduct. See Chapter 3. Use of school lender name, Title 34 CFR 612, Title U.S. Standard Code, Title 20, 1109A2 and A3. The preferred lender list. If for any year with the school has a preferred lender arrangement, that it will also annually comply, maintain, and make available students attending the school and families as students on the list of the printed minimum specified private educational loan school recommendation promotes endorsement accordance with preferred lenders. The school preferred list is mostly fully discussed, and this why it participates in the preferred lending agreement, which each lender of the preferred lender list, particularly with respect to determining condition provision favorable to the borrower and the student attending the school, and the other families do not have the borrower to the lender to the preferred lender list. When available information independent of the model disclosure of the developed in the department for each type of the education offered by the preferred lender, the arrangement of the school student and his families. The preferred lender lists the prominently disclosed the method of the criteria of the use by the school, and by selecting lenders to ensure such a lender is selected on the basis of best interest of the borrower's payments and of organization other fees on behalf of the borrower. However, the competitive interest rates, other terms and condition provision of the federal, state, aids, loans, and private educational loans, high quality service for such funding, the additional benefits beyond the student standard terms and conditions of provisions of such loans. Preferred lenders and the list must indicate for each lender whether the lender is not affiliated to each of the lender or other preferred lender list. If the lender is affiliated under another lender of the preferred lender list, the list must describe the details of affiliation. Institution affiliated organization definition. An organization directly related to the covered institution and engaged in a particular recommendation, promoting, and endorsing education for the students attending such a covered institution for the families such as students, and to the institution affiliated organization may include the alumni organization, athletic organization, foundation, social, academic, professional organization, or covered institute. Does not include any lenders respecting educational loan made or extended by the lender. Preferred lender disclosure for each of the private educational offered under the preferred lender agreement. A school or school affiliated organization must disclose maximum amount of federal student aid grant loan aid available to student aid, easy understood format. Truth of lending information, Title 15 U.S. Standard Code 1638E11 for each of the private educational loan offered preferred lending agreement. School studies for the families when available for information intended by the model disclosure that may develop the department for each of the educational loan that is offered for the preferred lender arrangement of the school students and students or their families. The school must disseminate information on the website. All information materials, all publication, mailing, electronic messages, and materials are distributed to prospective current students and their families. Prescribed financial aid that is available for the institution of higher education. The use of the institution lender name as the school and a school affiliated organization participates in a preferred lender arrangement regarding the private educational loan must be not agreed to the lender use of information and mascot logo in the participation. Private educational loan and students attending for the school may also imply that the loan is offered by the maid of the school or is if affiliated instead of the lender. The prohibition applies to other words, pictures, supplies readily identified with the school's affiliate. The schools and affiliates must assure that the name of the whole lender displayed as information documentation related to the private educational loan described in this section. Once again, preferred lender agreement, preferred lender arrangement. The definition: arrangement of an agreement between a lender and a covered institution and affiliated organization of the covered institution. Under this lender, it provides otherwise how institution issues educational loans to the student attending such covered institution of the family, such students that relate such covered institution, such institution affiliated organization recommendation program, which endorse an educational loan products. The lender preferred lender agreement does not now include the arrangement of an agreement. The arrangements of the agreements and effects of the loans under the William D. Ford Federal Direct Loan Program, the arrangements of the agreements of the prospect of the original other than the Plus Loan Auction Pilot Program under the Section 49B of the HEA. The purpose of the definition arrangement of the agreement does not exist for the private educational loan provided to the students attending for the covered institution as made by the covered institution as in an institution affiliated or covered institution of the private education funded by the covered institution. As this institution affiliated organization owned funds funded by the donor director contribution made by Article Title 7 and Title 8 of the Public Health Act made under the state the federal financial aid of the programs if the terms and conditions of loans and loan forgiveness optional public services. Private educational loan, if the financial institution is defined in Section 812 of the Title 12 of the solicitor makes an extended the private educational loan federal credit union is defined in Section 1752 of the Title 12 of the solicitor makes an extended private educational loans that any other person that engaged in the business of soliciting making extended private educational loans. Well, moving on to DL entrance service requirements. Entrances counseling by the direct subsidized unsubsidized loans. Title 34, 685, 304A. Entrance and counseling direct subsidized unsubsidized loan borrowers. Explaining the master promissory note, the MPN, the emphasis of borrowing, serious importance of repayment obligation to the student borrowing, assuming directly. 3. Describing the likely consequences of default, including adverse credit reports, delinquent debit collection policy, and delinquent debit collection procedures under the federal law, and litigation. Emphasis that the student borrower is obligated to repay full amount of the loan, even if the student borrower does not complete the program within the regular time of the program, but completion is unable to employ and was unable to obtain employment in the condition otherwise disqualified, and whether they do not receive education otherwise other services student borrower purchased from the school. Inform the student borrower of the sample monthly repayment amounts based on A. The range of students indebted, direct subsidized, direct unsubsidized loaner, borrower, student borrowers, direct subsidized, direct unsubsidized, direct public plus loans, depending on the type of loans borrowers and incentive paid. The average indebted over the borrower is the same program as the same school as is the borrower, and to the extent of the practical expense of the effect of the anticipating disbursement eligibility borrower of the other student assistance, providing information on how interest occurs and capitalized during the periods of the interest not paid by the borrower of secretary, informing the borrower to pay the option to pay the interest of the direct unsubsidized loan of this borrower is in the school. They explain the definition of a half-time enrollment in the school during the regular terms of some school, if applicable, consequences of not maintaining a full half-time enrollment, explaining the importance of contacting the appropriate offices of schools borrowed to withdraw the prior completing the borrows of the program and the study that is school provided the existing counseling, including the information regardless of the borrower's repayment option and loan consolidations. Entrances, counseling, and graduate professional. X provided information National Student Loan Data System. However, the borrower cannot access borrower's records, provided that the name of the contact information individual borrower may contact the borrower if he has any questions about the borrower's rights, responsibility, or the terms of the conditions. Entrance and counseling of the graduate and professional students direct plus loan borrowers. Entrance counseling and graduate professional students and direct plus of the loan borrowers must be inform the student borrower of the sample monthly repayment amounts based on A. a range of student levels, indebtedness, gratitude, professional student plus loans, borrowers, student borrowers, direct plus loan, direct subsidized loan, direct unsubsidized loan, depending on the types of loans the borrowers has obtained, the average indebted of other borrowers of the same program at the same school. Inform the borrower of the option to pay the interest of the plus loan of the borrower in the school for the graduate of the professional student of the plus loan borrower who has received the FEL Stafford direct subsidized unsubsidized loan, providing information specialized in the statute 685-301-A31A through 685-301-A31C, and in the graduate professional student of the plus loan borrower who has not received the prior to the FEL Stafford direct subsidized direct unsubsidized loan, provided the information subsidized is specified in paragraph through the paragraphs A61 and A67 of the section. See the entrance of the counseling requirements in the beginning of the first column of this page. 658 301A1A31 requires the counseling provider the power to the comparison of the maximum interest of the direct subsidized, direct unsubsidized maximum interest of the direct plus loan. The director's interest as occurs the direct subsidized loan and direct unsubsidized loan per periods when the interest include the direct plus loan. At the point of the direct subsidized loan, direct unsubsidized loan enter the repayment at the point in which the direct plus loan repayments. Exit counseling requirements. Elements. The exit counseling must inform the student borrower of the average anticipated monthly repayment amount based on the student's borrower indebtedness or of average indebtedness student borrows obtained by the district's subsidized loan, direct unsubsidized loan, student borrowers who obtained only a direct plus loan, or student borrowers who obtain a direct subsidized, direct unsubsidized, direct plus loan, depending on the types of loans. Student borrowers has obtained the attendance of the same school has obtained or for the attendance of the same school and same program the same program of the study at the same school. For the student borrower is available for the repayment options, including the standard repayment extended program, the graduate repayment income contingent repayment plans, incoming the base income, including the description, defense, and referent features. Each plan is simple sample information showing the average anticipated monthly payments of the difference in interest and total payments under each plan. Explain the borrower's options to prepay each of the loan short schedule and to change of the repayment plan for provide information effective consolidation minimum effects consolidation total interest of the paid fees and the paid and low length of the payment repayment the effects of the consolidation of the borrower's underlying the loan benefits, including the grace periods of loan forgiveness, cancellation, deferments, and opportunities. The options of the borrowers to prepay loan and change the prepay plans. The borrower benefit programs made among the different lenders include the debt management strategies that are designed to the facility repayment. Explain to the student borrower how to contact the party serving the student borrower's direct loans meet the requirements described in paragraph A61, A62, A64, or the section C. The assistance entrance counseling is 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 4. This first column of the previous page. Describe that 8. Describe the likely consequences of default, including the adverse credit reports, delinquent debt, and collection procedures under the federal law and litigation. The provided a general determination under the borrower obtaining the full portion forgiveness charge principles, interest, deferred payment, interest, guaranteed forbearance, Title 4 loan, copy the either print or electronic means information secretary means available pursuant to Section 485D of the HEA, review of the student borrower information availability of the Department of Student Loan Ombudsman Office information, student borrower availability of Title 4 information, National Student Loan Debt System. The HNSLDS can be obtained with the Title 4 loan status information, a general description of the types of the tax benefits available for the borrowers, requiring for the student borrower to provide current information concerning address, social security, references, driver's license number, states issuances, as well as student borrower's expected permanent address or address of the student borrower's next of kin, name, address if the student borrower's expected money if and known. These are sub notes, but I don't want to read them. And if maybe I will. All right, I will. Section 48 also refers to information to enable the borrowers to access practical consequences of loading consolidation, including differences, deferment, and eligibility, interest rates, monthly payments, financial charges, samples of the loan consolidation profiles concerning the specific conditions under which the students may obtain a partial total consolidation repayment of the loan services. The maximum level of compensation allowances the student borrower may receive tax-exempt organizational qualifying for a determinant shall explicitly state the student is may qualify for such partial cancellation deferments which the herb is a paid employee of the tax-exempt organization on the state other prepared tuition programs and saving programs, dissemination of such information to the state's eligible institutions, students, parents, and department publications. And now on to chapter 5, record keeping and privacy.